Hello, I'm Stuart Heath, CEO and founder of Harvard Grace Capital, back with the third installment of our series, Should You Buy or Hold Real Estate During Inflationary Times? Generally, I'm going to say the answer is yes. Our third installment, our first two installments, we've talked about there's general price increases. We've talked about fixed rate debt. Today we're going to talk about your debt stays the same. What does that mean? Well, everything's increasing. We've talked about what inflation is. The cost of everything, including the cost of most assets, is increasing over time. But your debt, whether it's floating rate debt or fixed rate debt, your debt balance stays the same or stays on the same schedule. You're probably amortizing that debt and it's going down. So the amount that you owe the bank doesn't increase. So that's kind of huge. So the value of your real estate is going up, hopefully because it's being professionally managed and has great leases and income, but the value of real estate might just be going up also because everything else around it, because of inflation going up. And it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's not a bad thing to own assets during an inflationary period, especially with debt. When you will gain the difference between the inflation adjusted price of your asset and the fixed amount of debt that you owed. What does that mean? For instance, let's say you bought a building for $1 million. You financed it 70%, so you owe $700,000 on it. We go through a period of 3 or 4 years where there's 7 to 15% inflation. Let's say your property, your income has kept up. Your property is now valued at $1.2 million. Your amortized balance of the debt is now $650,000. That's a pretty good gain. That your debt did not increase during the time because of inflation. You are essentially paying back the bank with cheaper dollars. So what does inflation mean? It means the general increase of your dollar is worth less, and the general goods and services cost more. So your dollar is worth less. It's a cheaper dollar. Those are the dollars you're now paying the bank back with. And so that ought to put a smile on your face, if nothing else. So come back for installment number 4, where we're going to talk about inflation does not treat all asset classes the same. Now, we'll talk about that. If you haven't seen the other two, go back and catch those. You go to harvardgracecapital.com and catch some of our free resources. Or remember, my name's Stuart Heath. You go to stuartheath.com and go there and get some of our resources. I would love to hear from you. Check us out. Thanks.